Biofuel is made from starch and cellulose in plants. Basically, it's alcohol. They are cheaper, they're sustainable, and better for our environment, and they're a great source of fuel for automobiles. Most ethanol in the U.S. is made from starch that comes from corn. That starch is converted to alcohol, and the residual is the protein, oil, and micronutrients that are left over that then go into animal rations throughout the world. The newer way to make ethanol is cellulosic ethanol. That's coming from the leaves, the husks, and the cobs from the corn today, and eventually could come from other things like trees, leaves, grasses, numerous sources. Biofuels are much cleaner than gasoline. When you burn ethanol, you get CO2 and water, and that CO2 goes into next year's plant to produce next year's starch. They're also high performance, so ethanol is very high octane and can be used to replace cancer-causing components in gasoline, which is a big deal for the consumer and people that are breathing our air. It burns very well in today's automobiles, and they're available today.
POET's a global environmental leader. We are the largest biofuel producer in the world. Well, the majority of the biofuel that we produce at POET comes from corn. So the process really begins with, we bring the corn on site, we grind that up into a flour or a powder. We take that, we ferment it, and really what we're taking out of the corn is the starch, and that's what we make the ethanol out of. The rest of it goes through and we make a distiller's grain and a corn oil out of it through a process of dehydration, distillation, different drying processes.
The people of POET work here literally so that they can help change the world, and we truly believe they're here to make a difference. If we continue on the path that our country and our world is on today, we're going to see more health issues, more air quality issues, more soil and water contamination issues. We have to move away from fossil-based fuels and fossil-based chemicals, and bio-based solutions are the only way to do that long term.
The co-products we produce, one is distiller's grain. So that's a high value, high protein, high nutrition animal feed. That goes into a lot of different markets, whether it's beef, poultry, dairy, a lot of different species rely on that for nutrition. So that's one of our main co-products. The other one is a corn oil product, and that goes into a lot of different industries. That can go into the biodiesel industry. It can be further refined into biodiesel, another biofuel. It can go into the asphalt market. It can actually be a rejuvenation product, so they can actually take recycled asphalt, put our corn oil in there and rejuvenate that and reuse it. That displaces the petroleum products that previously did that. So that's another green technology, another innovative green technology that POET's really kind of pioneered.
Today our process yields not just ethanol, but literally all of the protein, oil, and micronutrients that come in with the starch go back out in a higher percentage of those three items, and we ship it all over the world to places where protein is needed. POET is working with farmers in third world nations to improve their crop yields. We're finding that in most third world countries where 70 to 85% of the population are actually farmers, their yields can be 10 to 30% of what we can get other places in the world. So we're helping to raise those yields and create more starch and more cellulose, first of all to feed their people, but when there becomes a surplus, they can produce their own biofuels and bioproducts as well. POET sees a more sustainable future where we stop pulling hydrocarbons out of the ground that have been there for millions of years and blowing them into the environment and creating all kinds of problems, and where we get our energy and a lot of our products from the surface of the earth. That will create a better set of circumstances for everyone on the planet, and certainly for our children and grandchildren.